Hello there, it's Aki Anastasiou and welcome to another episode of What's Next, and we are coming to you live from Broad Media Studios in Centurion, and this week we've got a fantastic guest, the Impact Catalyst, together with its partners Anglo-American, Kumba or Asmang, KMR, South 32. They've come together to provide 7 schools in the Northern Cape with Wi-Fi access. And this is an incredible project because this Wi-Fi infrastructure is going to really enhance skills. We know what connectivity does. It's a life-changing and it's a game-changing thing for most people. But just imagine from an educational point of view what difference this is going to make. And this is a pilot project, and it's got the potential to inform many other schools and this project to roll out across the country. It's in the Northern Cape initially, and the initiative is being driven by Impact Catalyst, and the head of Department for ICT and Education, Thato Matsio, joins us for this episode to talk about this project. Thato, how are you doing?
No, thank you very much, Aki. I'm doing very well. And yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Yes.
Listen, this is a fantastic initiative. 7 schools in the Northern Cape. But before we do that, tell us who is Impact Catalyst and why is the ICT and the education part of it an important focus for you guys?
Yeah, no, it is indeed a fabulous project. We know what the challenges are from an infrastructure point of view, across the rural areas, in township areas as well. And that is where we are focusing in terms of providing connectivity to rural areas, particularly to schools as well. Mm-hmm. But we also doing it broadly as well in communities so that they are able to access internet. Yeah. So, so the Impact Catalyst is an organization that was established by Anglo-American, Exaro, CSIR, and World Vision, but with the sole purpose of driving collaboration and partnership towards developing areas socio-economically and also regionally as well. You find that, for instance, in different areas and regions, there are many organizations that invest in CSII projects or any other social development and economic development projects, but they're doing it in little pockets.
Yes.
So you don't have the impact that you need in those areas. And it also becomes expensive as well to do it in little pockets instead of you coming as a group and deciding to with a program of action, and you make this program much more bigger. So the impact becomes much more bigger. You're able to drive economies of scale. You are able to aggregate demand as well. You're able to negotiate better prices as well with the service providers who are providing this infrastructure. ICT connectivity is just one of those projects, but we even do it as well in agriculture. We even do it as well in energy as well, to say that let's all of us come together. Let's identify those big things that we need to do in a region to address a specific problem. And if you're doing it in piecemeal and if you're doing it in silos, it doesn't have the required impact. You spend a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true.
And you don't see the impact, you don't see the return of that money that you have spent. But if you come together, you bring all your resources together, you go to your MTN, you go to your Vodacom, your big players, you say, come on guys, we want to connect this many schools, this many communities as well. Please meet us halfway in terms of your prices as well, so you're able to save cost. You're able to stretch the rent a little bit more.
Yeah,
you're able to do more with the money that you have received as well.
And of course, you got some punch there. You've got companies like Anglo-American behind you. You've got your suppliers. You talk to them and say, "Listen, guys, come to the party." But I love the name Impact Catalyst because it says already like it's an impact and it's a catalyst for bigger things.
Yes.
So it's a very, very cool name.
Yeah.
What kind of initiatives does the ICT and Education Department focus on?
So our aim basically in the Impact Catalyst as ICT is to reduce the digital divide. As I've indicated, we know the problems in the rural areas and also in terms of the township as well, from an access point of view, affordability point of view, and also even the quality of services that connectivity can actually provide as well.
Okay.
So we want to bridge that digital gap. We want to level the equal the playing field, to make it level so that they are able to be on par with other areas from an internet and access of information point of view. So the other thing that we would like to do as well is to increase digital adoption in these communities.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, you are leaving the community behind. The world is changing out there. From a competitive point of view, it is called to say that if you want to be competitive, you need to develop these digital skills so that you are able to respond appropriately to this changing nature of the economy. I mean, organizations are automating. They have concerns about cybersecurity. They have concerns about how to scale their businesses using technology and how to make it even more competitive worldwide as well. So they need the skills, to be able to do so. And as such, we need to create a culture where people are able to use these technologies, are able to use it to benefit them economically and also socially. And at the lower level, you need to create that culture so that they're able to build these skills and create a good pipeline into the industries that actually require these skills as well.
Thato, you're talking my language. This is something
Yes.
I'm very passionate about, because when you look at the continent of Africa, for example, we got 1.4 billion people, and we still got less than 50% internet penetration. Now, South Africa
Exactly.
is one of the countries that kind of leads the way, but we're still not on par
There,
with
yes.
the rest of the world. So this is a great initiative, and also that understanding how these digital technologies work,
Yeah.
because this is the way of the future, and
Yes.
and that educational side that you guys are doing
Yeah.
is absolutely fantastic, and
Yeah.
and it filters from the school down to the community around them, which is absolutely awesome.
Exactly.
Now, recently, the Impact Catalyst and its partners, you guys hosted a site visit in the Northern Cape,
Yeah.
where you guys shared a project update on the Northern Cape School Connectivity Pilot project that you've been working on. What motivated this particular initiative?
With the Northern Cape part, it was a pilot,
Yes.
but it was more of a pilot of partnerships. How do we do it together? You get what I'm trying to get
Yes.
here. So because the connectivity part of it is not something new.
Yes.
Yes, but what is something new in that area is the partnership aspect of it. How do we then replicate that model to do something similar
Okay.
into other areas of the country as well? So we are able to demonstrate that with partnership, we are able to come together, and usually with the organization that does not necessarily talk to each other. So they've been created, given this platform to say that let's all come together. Like for instance, it's mining houses. You would imagine that maybe they are competitors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, in the space. You
And they're using a different technology. These guys are using different suppliers, etc.
Yes, exactly. So now we've created that space. We've been facilitating the discussions. Let's all of us come together. Let's bring our resources together. Let's all of us, because we have all of us have one goal, is to uplift the communities. We don't have different goals. All of us have the same goal. We need to uplift the community. So let's come together. Let's not talk past each other. Let's not do things in silos. So this was more a demonstration for that. So the pilot was more on the partnership and the collaboration of that, yes.
Because now you've got the formula
Yes.
to replicate that and take it wherever you want. And I
Exactly.
think that, like in the Northern Cape, when you mentioned when I mentioned those partners in the beginning, you got Anglo American, the Kumba Iron Ore, you got Asman, Kmart, South 32. You'll probably find at those schools that there are the parents of the kids, might be employed in different mines in the area, right? So you guys have come together to say, let's do this project together and let's grow this and replicate it across the country. I mean, it's a fantastic initiative. Tell me about the schools that have been connected so far in the Northern Cape, and what's been the feedback like?
We take the criticism as well, and as well as the good stuff as well, because it is a pilot.
Yes.
Because we really want that. Like yesterday, I was at another school, and then I went to a school, and then I asked them, okay, do you have any problems with the connectivity? So the principal said, no, I don't have any problems with the connectivity. But I was kind of stunned and say, Ish, I'm actually here for problems. I actually want the problems because I need to improve, on.
And he says there's no problems.
Yeah, there's no problems. I said, okay, if you don't have problems, it's like, I don't have a job. Yeah, it's you know what I'm saying. So those are the type of things that we would like to see as well. Give us the feedback so that we are able to improve.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think some of those feedback was quite well received. So the schools that we have connected there was actually the Asmang, Hotazel combined.
That's so fascinating. So now I imagine you look at the typical infrastructure of these schools, right? You mentioned that they are quite remote. They're in a rural area, right?
Yes.
And I don't think there's fiber connectivity going there.
Not at all. Yes.
So how do you actually connect the school up? And how many kids are at a school that are connected? And do they have technologies like laptops and or tablets to connect and kind of digitize the whole process?
Yeah, so we have found that some areas don't have fiber.
Yes.
Yes, so it becomes challenging to connect.
So you go satellite or something, I imagine.
So yes, we do satellite. So there are satellite providers that would provide you, for instance, about 50 megabytes per second, which is quite good speeds.
Yes.
And we also do your microwave.
Yeah.
So we take the closest point of presence, let's say for argument's sake, MTN.
Yes.
Or your Vodacom, your Telcom, and so on. We link their tower to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, microwave on the...
And of course, you know, the mines, they're all remote. They've got the expertise to do this kind of thing, which is what's wonderful about this collaboration.
Yes.
Using that expertise as well, because they've been working under these remote conditions for years. They've got satellite links and all sorts of things. So you're tapping into their knowledge.
Exactly. We also tap into what is actually possible, because we look at what has been provided to the mines as well. And then we look at what can also be replicated in the community.
Yeah.
Although the mines, perhaps their environment is more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's much more capex investment in those areas.
Yeah.
But the technology behind it should be the same.
Yeah.
Although at the school level might not necessarily be at the same level.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so we're trying to address it in that way, which was quite challenging to, connect a school there and a school there and a school there. So that is why we say that let's all of us come to aggregate this thing of called demand, drive economies of scale. And in that way, when you start pushing the infrastructure in those areas, you are able to kind of say that if I put an infrastructure, I'm able to connect 10 schools in this area.
Yes.
Instead of just one. So it's that thing that we called about aggregating the demand, driving economies of scale. You're reusing the infrastructure.
Correct.
You're saving more cost, but the impact is more.
It's interesting you've touched on this collaboration that you guys have got. It's public and private sector. It's such an important part of the success of this. Why is this important? And I imagine that you mentioned it just now. It's quite a complex project when you think about it. What is the value of the project, and why is it so important to bring in public and private sector partnerships?
It's important because we're able to, co-create a solution for a specific program.
Yes.
And you can grow it big with the same resources that you actually have. You don't have to look at...
you just replicate it.
You don't have to look at the resources anyway. You just come together. You say that you have 10 rand, this one is 5 rand, this one is 2 rand, and so you bring it together. You build one infrastructure where that infrastructure is able to carry more of the impact as well. Instead of me as an individual building an infrastructure here and connecting 2 schools there, this one connecting 3 schools there. So,
but Thato, that's what's been happening in the past. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
you look at traditionally, a mine would invest in this and another mine would do that, and everyone's doing their own thing. Now you're bringing everyone together and saying, let's build it together. Let's
build it together. Yeah. So that is the value that of this entire exercise from a partnership point of view. But the actual solution itself, the value that it brings, like you said, it's about the digital divide, creating connectivity, ensuring that there's internet access, ensuring that we provide the necessary facilities that will assist with learning and also teaching in schools, because even the younger teachers are starting to use videos to explain concepts, because people don't learn the same. Some they're visual, some they are They learn by listening and so on and so forth. So you need to bring a blend of all those things in the classroom, and technology makes it easier to be able to do so. Yeah.
Just the tools that are now available to teachers at their disposal to do the video stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's like game changing already.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of how many kids are connected? I mean, the 7 schools that we're talking about, there must be a few hundred kids involved behind this. Do you have any numbers on how many people are connecting to this network at the moment?
Yeah, so we do foresee that it will benefit about, for the 7 schools, about 4,600 600 kids.
So in total, 4,600 kids' lives
can benefit from this.
Incredible.
You see, so there's the social return on investment is quite big from when you start doing this connectivity at the school. But what you just then need to do, you need to make sure that they're using it to their benefit.
Thato, this is incredible that you're providing these schools with education, but I imagine that there must be other opportunities that you would work together with communities and the Department of Education, for example. And I'm thinking about small businesses that could also benefit from this connectivity. Are you looking beyond just the schools?
Yes, of course. Like I said, even if I said that we are able to replicate the infrastructure to the schools,
yes,
but even public facilities as well can also benefit from it. And that is where we will get the rest of the community to have access to the internet. Like, for instance, your SMMEs.
Yes.
And the general community that's able to access services from government as well. Because when you also look at it, the government is also digitizing as well. They are also digitalizing their services.
All those e-services are
beneficial. They are also coming there. So who are they targeted to? It's targeted to the community. So, but how do they access it if they don't have sufficient internet access as well? So you need to then be able to ensure that they are able to access the services close to where they are, whether it is in libraries, community centers. So if they want to access the municipality and the services, if you want to access, for instance, to register a company, to do business as well, they should be able to access it in a community center. They should be able to access us in a library. They should be able to access it in any public facilities where this connectivity has been established as well. So we'll be able to drive that digitalization of the community. And
the local municipalities must be supporting you as well in this. They want this.
Yes. So it's part of that process. So what we normally do is that we do have those engagements before we do. But the main focus at this point was the digital infrastructure, which is the connectivity,
right?
Yeah, that we are doing, and as well as also your digital skills as well, and literacy. So at this point in time, we have the Learning Factory, where we develop programs that will provide youth, the unemployed, and the current workforce as well with digital skills. Whether it is in robotics, programming, security services, AI, data science, generic learning intervention that can be applied in various sectors, whether it is in mining, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is in manufacturing, and also in energy. So that is a program that we are currently having as well. But also on top of it, what we're also trying to do as part of the community digitalization is also to digitalize the SMMEs themselves so that they are able to digitalize their services.
Like e-commerce, for example,
yes,
and that sort of thing.
Yes, to increase their market access, to engage better with their customers, to improve their efficiencies as well. But so that is one of the programs that we are also having. So we are looking at the entire package. When you talk about digital adoption, it's all those areas that we are implementing to ensure that there is holistic digital adoption, not only for social purposes, but also for economic purposes as well.
Congratulations to Impact Catalyst for this project. And I hope that this project grows from strength to strength. And I'm sure that there are partners that are listening here. They say, listen, we need to get in touch with Impact Catalyst. We want to partner with them on this project. And I hope that we will have another conversation in a few months' time. And you, Thato, will say to me, we've now got 100 schools in a few months that are connected, because this is the impact that you guys are having. Thank you very much for joining us on What's Next.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's Thato Matsio. What an incredible project in the Northern Cape. 7 schools, and I've put a challenge through to Thato that in a few months we want many more schools connected and get an update. He's the head of department in ICT and Education at Impact Catalyst, joining us for this episode of What's Next.